Dear Journal, today I'm going to attempt to run 120 kilometers through the Italian Dolomites. Yeah, who am I kidding? I don't really keep a journal, but just counting down now to the Lavaredo Ultra Marathon, all registered and ready to go. The race itself, as I mentioned, is 120 kilometers with around 6,000 meters of climbing and descending, so that's around 74 miles I think, with around 20,000 feet. This is the furthest that I've ever attempted to run, and the cut-offs are quite tight as well. You have a total of 30 hours to complete the whole course and various cut-offs in between that as well. My aim is to try and get around sub 24 hours, and the secondary aim is, if everything's going well, I've also scheduled out a 20-hour round, but I think that may be a little bit optimistic given the altitude and things like that. I did a short run yesterday at around 2,000 meters and definitely did feel it in the lungs more than the legs in terms of the elevation, but all being well, next time you see me I will have completed the Lavaredo Ultra Trail. 49 kilometers in, 2,300 meters of elevation. It's amazing. Eyes are the fans. Lavaredo done. Got the t-shirt, well in this case the finisher's gilet. What an absolutely incredible race. I'll put a link up there to the race video that I made. The scenery was absolutely spectacular, more than the video can do justice to. The scale of everything was just out of this world. It was absolutely incredible. For me, the race was really split into the first 2/3 of it and then the final third. So it was going really well. My nutrition strategy was working excellently. I felt full of energy all day. Did do a video about my top tips for nutrition for ultramarathon running. I'll put a link to that up there. But essentially I followed that to the T. I was having solid foods for the first part and then moved on to energy gels at around the 70k mark. Well, energy gels, it was the Mountain Fuel Sports Jelly, so it's not as thick as your traditional gels. You can have them without water, and they were working really well throughout. I then got to around 85k into the race, 86k, and it was a long 10-11 kilometer climb, gaining over 1,000 meters of ascent. And midway up that climb, my left knee started hurting. I'm not quite sure what I did to it, but unfortunately that risk really slowed me down to basically a walk. So I walked the last 35 kilometers, about 20 miles, and my splits were absolutely horrendous. One of the splits I was averaging about 1 mile per hour, which just shows how slow I was going. I was using my walking poles essentially as crutches on some of the climbs, actually more than the descents. A few days since the race and my knee's feeling a lot better, which is good. I'm hoping it's nothing too serious, as I do have a few races coming up. But up until around 86 kilometers of the race, I was hitting my timing splits for getting a sub 18-hour finish. I was in the top 10% of the field. It's probably the best I've actually felt during an ultramarathon. Unfortunately, it was 120k rather than 85k, so I need to try and make sure that I maintain that momentum, hope that the knee isn't anything serious. In addition to my nutrition strategy, my kit all worked really well. It was all tried and tested beforehand. One of the things that I always do is make sure that I do at least 1 or 2 practice runs with all the mandatory gear. But in terms of kit choice, my shoes, my socks, no blisters, didn't have to change them throughout the day, my feet felt fine. and all of that was going really well. I did say at the start of this video that I had 3 goals. I think I said I had 3 goals. I definitely had 3 goals in my mind. The first one was to finish, the second goal was to go sub 24, and then the final goal was to go sub 20. I'd marked out an 18 and 20 hour schedule because normally I go off too fast, so I had aiming to hit an 18-hour schedule for the first 2 main checkpoints and then probably drop down to 20-hour schedule. However, I was able to maintain sub 18-hour pace, as I mentioned. My finish time was 23 hours and 49 seconds, I think. I knew that I couldn't even run to get sub 23, but actually I hit my middle goal of sub 24 hours. So overall, pretty happy with that. It's the longest I've ever run by around 20k, and it's the second most elevation that I've ever done in a run. Ultra Trail Snowdonia had about maybe 400 or 500 more meters of elevation across 85 kilometers. So this was around 6,000 meters in total over around 118, 119 kilometers. If you want to do this race, you need any more inspiration, just look at the backdrop behind me. The Dolomites are absolutely fantastic. If you do shorter races and you're interested in one in the Dolomites, I did the Sky Race in 2016, and again, that is an absolutely amazing race. You go up to over 3,100 meters in that race. I think it's around 23 kilometers, and again, absolutely amazing atmosphere at that. So if you're keen to get out to the Dolomites, do a European race, what's stopping you? It's absolutely fantastic.